This is another one of my pickups that I found in my travels, and this time it's Star Wars related, and one of my obviously favourite movies, well, more sort of a classic ones anyway. And it's of the Meet the Villains range, and it's of Darth Vader, who for me is probably one of the baddest villains in movie history, and especially obviously seeing him in, well, spoiler alert, because I'm warning you, in this case you haven't watched it, in what's that? Obviously in of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's been on Disney Plus, where he's been a complete badass on that show, and then obviously showing no mercy. And then also his appearance in Star Wars Rogue One, where he was just completely just kicking ass. So I thought, you know what, being a Star Wars fan and considering that this book was only 50p, I know it's probably more tailored towards children, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get it because it's 50p. I know I'm a Star Wars fan, and Darth Vader is one of my favorite, now movie and TV villains. And I thought, you know, it had to be done. Obviously, this is from DK Books. It says it was $4.99, but I picked up for 50p. You can get other books in the series, which looks at the Stormtroopers, RTD2, and Chewbacca. So yeah, if I do see those in my travels at that price, I will, you know, pick those up. Again, this is a hardback. Obviously going into hyperspace here. We'll see Darth Vader there, looking completely menacing. And then you got the stuff here, explaining what a Sith is, and obviously using his Force powers. What was it? This explains who is Darth Vader's master, why the Emperor's so super evil. Darth Vader's job, how does he keep an eye on his troops? Is Darth Vader strong in the Force? What Force powers does he have? Although with his powers, they've basically added to it. Obviously, with the event, obviously with technology, and obviously we've seen in Obi-Wan, and then the new, not New Hope, but what's that film called again? Rogue One, where we've seen him expand his powers. Obviously, those are prequels. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series and the Rogue One movies obviously are set before Star Wars: The New Hope. So yeah, we've got Darth Vader there when he was as Anakin, and he was a Padawan to Obi-Wan. Obviously, that's his appearance there, where he's got the little braid. And obviously, you know, he's wearing the darker colours, which Luke would eventually have. So you got the stuff here, and he says, why did he turn to the dark side? Obviously, you have to watch the prequel movies to get a full explanation about that. Obviously, you got Obi-Wan. Over his droids, you got Darth Vader there. She says, I mean, artificial hands. For far as I know, both his arms and legs are both mechanical. Obviously, after watching the Revenge of the Sith, obviously you see what happens there. What else is it? That's from The New Hope. So you got the Death Star and the second Death Star. Now, what I have noticed with it's kind of going off topic with Darth Vader, is that whenever he's using the Force on somebody, whether it's in the TV shows or any of the movies, watch very carefully what he does with his hands, because I think in one of the Star Wars where he's choking somebody's throat so they can't breathe, and if you look very carefully, he's actually doing this. So what he's actually doing, he's actually controlling the particular person's larynx. So he's kind of like squeezing it so they can't breathe. Or when he does, or in the new, or in Obi-Wan Kenobi, where he just does that with his hands. And I never really noticed that before, especially in the in the actual movies where you see his hand gestures. And another interesting fact is obviously that from the new Star Wars: The New Hope to Empire Strikes Back, they actually changed the suit, the actual helmet. And if you look very carefully in The New Hope, you'll notice that on his belt that the actual lights don't light up at all. They're coloured, but they don't light up. And then by the time it obviously gets to Empire Strikes Back, obviously they've improved the suit, and then you can see the actual controls on his chest and his belt on his chest and his belt all lighting up, whereas before they never did. So you can actually see the improvements in the way they've made the helmet a little bit more streamlined in The Empire Strikes Back. But all these little things you kind of don't really kind of notice, and it's all really fascinating. And as we know, Darth Vader was played by two different people, in the sense that David Prowse obviously did the physical in the original trilogy, the physical movement of Darth Vader in the suit, and then James L. Jones actually did the voice, as we know, of Darth Vader, and he's got that kind of that iconic voice, which kind of suits the character so well. And I would say, and then what I was saying about him using the Force, if you've got a pretty decent home cinema system, and then you've got the original Star Wars films on Blu-ray, you can actually hear the actual humming of the Force when he's using it through your subwoofer. That's one of the things that I kind of noticed after watching it back on Blu-ray, and you kind of don't kind of notice that. But as I said, all the little hand gestures and stuff you kind of notice, and things like Darth Vader's voice is actually somebody breathing down a respirator. So that's how you get that kind of that kind of that breathing, and it's kind of fascinating to how all the special effects were done on the Star Wars films, where back in the day, obviously you couldn't use like how now you could use like digital effects. They had to use certain elements, whether it's passing electricity through something, animal noises, slowing it down, the voices down, doing little things. And when you kind of obviously when you hear it when you actually movie, you don't really kind of realize that on how the sounds that they created out of little things that they found around to create these iconic sounds. And whereas, as I said before, these days you can just do things and create things digitally, which shows you how clever and how special the Star Wars films are. And for me, why I really love the original Star Wars films, because although you've got the prequels and you've got the new films, the newer trilogy I'm not kind of a fan on, and maybe I might do a review on what I think of the original Star Wars films, and maybe I'll do a review on all of them, including Solo and Rogue One. So look for that in the future if people are interested in what I thought of it. But what I loved about the original Star Wars films, The New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi, is that there was something for me magical about watching those movies. It was kind of like like, I can't describe it. It's like this sorcerer. It's like kind of a sorcerer kind of a thing, where you've got like the knight who has to rescue the princess and has to take down the evil villain. But obviously this is set in space, of course, and then we know that a lot of pardon me, because I'm still suffering from the flu. I'm of the worst of it anyway. We know that that George Lucas took inspiration from a lot of things from Japanese culture, from the cowboys and stuff, and then lots of different things, and created Star Wars. And so for me, it was what I liked about the original Star Wars was looking forward to it, watching it at Easter or at Christmas, and there was just something magical about the films. It kind of, the only way to describe it for me is kind of like King Arthur. And then, although now obviously we've had the prequels and the prequel trilogies and the new trilogies that they made, and the TV series that go about. Yes, they visually look good with the technology that we have in the 21st century, but it's something, I don't know, magical, or the soul that's kind of missing for me. Maybe it's just me showing my age, but yeah, that's my love for Star Wars, and why I decided to pick this book up, and again for 50p. Can't complain at 50 pence, can you? Anyway, I hope people found this video informative. Feel free to like it, to share on YouTube. This helps me being found, especially being a small-time YouTuber, and especially with the YouTube algorithms, which don't show small-time YouTubers like me. And if you have got the time, it only takes a split second to like this video, and also if you want to share. And if you already haven't, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, bye for now, and stay safe.